Alrighty, well, today gonna do something a little bit different. I've been meaning to start making some cooking videos, and today I'm finally going to do a full legitimate cooking video. I had like a little smoked ham and cheese sandwich I made, but that was just kind of more for fun. Anybody can make that. Today we got a little bit of grilled steak and sweet corn. It is scorching hot here in Iowa, and we don't have good weather, and we don't have a whole lot to do, but I tell you what, we got the good sweet corn. So we're doing a little bit of grilled sweet corn and a nice Hy-Vee New York strip steak. So first thing you want to do, obviously, is get your steak opened up. Now, this looked pretty good in the store at the meat counter. There's a nice bit of fat in it. Not too much though. Great looking steak. Now with this recipe I'm doing here, you can literally use any piece of steak you want, really. Because this is about the only recipe I have for steak. Sometimes I'll do steak kebabs and whatnot, but if I'm just grilling a solid one chunk of steak, this is my go-to recipe. I got a little bit of sea salt here, and I also have a little bit of black pepper. Now I cannot find my tripod, so I'm gonna set the camera down and season this thoroughly, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Alrighty, I got my steak all seasoned up nice here. I go pretty thick on the black pepper, not quite as much as what you do on like a pepper steak, but almost in between like what most people would put on for pepper in a full-on like pepper crusted steak. I go pretty thick. I also do a pretty liberal amount of that sea salt on there, and give her a nice pat in. Make sure your seasonings aren't going to go anywhere. And then you want to flip her over and do the same to the other side. But I'm not going to show you the other side. That's pretty easy. I have my grill preheating here. You want to get her up to at least 400 degrees. Now sometimes I'll go to about 425, so when I open up the grill and put the steak on, the temp doesn't drop too much. But that's one of the biggest keys to cooking a good steak, is you're gonna want a nice hot temperature when you start, and you want to cook it fast, and you don't want to cook it too long. Don't be flipping that thing around either. One flip is all you need, or else you're just playing with it. But I'm gonna go start prepping the sweet corn, show you guys what I'm gonna do for that, and I'll be right back. Already got the other side of my steak seasoned, and I also started prepping my corn. Now what I've done here is I just ran my corn underneath the sink, got it nice and wet, and then wrapped it in some wet paper towels, because I want it to be as wet as possible when I throw it on the grill, so then it might do a little bit of steaming besides just starting to char up right away. But my grill's just about hot. I'm going to wait for that to get to the optimal temperature, and then I'm going to throw the meat on. And I'm thinking right as I flip my steak for the first time, should be a perfect time to throw the corn on, and then it should all be done at the same time. Check back in when I get the stuff on the grill. Well, people, I almost forgot the most important part of the steak, and that is the delicious garlic butter topping that I'm going to do. Just get yourself a nice chunk of butter here, and then you'll also want 1 clove of garlic. Now I have a garlic press. If you don't have one, just do the finest mince that you can possibly do. But I'm gonna take this garlic and press it into the butter. Now it's all stuck on here, so I gotta go grab a knife. But press your garlic into your butter and then just warm it up in the microwave. Or if you have a little heat-proof dish, you can set it on the grill and let it warm up. But I'm filming right now and I need 2 hands, so I'm gonna go get this garlic off of my press and then heat this butter up in the microwave, and then put it in the refrigerator once it's all mixed together, and start grilling my food. But yeah, you don't have to put it in the fridge, but it's a little easier to scoop it all out onto the steak when the steak's almost done. So I put it in the fridge. But yeah, that's gonna be the garlic butter topper to put on your steak right before it's done. And I tell you what, if you've never done that, it's a great little extra thing to throw on your steak, a little kicker. Makes it delicious. But yeah, tune back in when I get grilling. Alrighty, the grill's heated up and the steak is ready to put on. Woo. Sitting at just a little bit above 400 degrees, and hopefully we get a nice sizzle and a nice sear when this hits. That's what you want. Now we're gonna close the grill and we're gonna wait for maybe about a minute, and I'm gonna give it about a 45-degree turn. And that's how you get those nice diamond grill marks on your meat. I'm not the best at it, but that's how you do it. Give it about a minute to get some nice char marks. Give her a 45-degree turn, and then it'll give you some nice looking diamonds. I'm not sure how it's gonna work out on this steak, but it'll still be delicious. I'll tune back in when I flip the steak over, and then I'll throw the corn on. Alrighty, the steak's been on for about a minute. Gonna give it a little 45-degree turn, and now I'm gonna let it cook for about maybe a minute and a half, 2 more minutes. I'm probably gonna do about 3 minutes a side, I'm thinking, on this steak. So don't overcook your steak, and only flip it once. That's my tip of the day. But yeah, corn's about ready to go on. I'll start videotaping when I do that. Alrighty, it has been about 2 more minutes. I'm going to give this steak a flip. Looking pretty good. Get her closed back down. Now I'm going to wait another minute and a half or so, or maybe a minute, give it a 45-degree to get them nice grill marks, and I'm actually going to throw the corn on now too. There we go. Want to be as quick as you can when you're opening up the grill. You don't want your temperature to drop. You ain't gonna get too good a color on your meat. Tune back in when we're ready to eat. Alrighty. Let's give her a 45. Throw it back down. Give her another 2 minutes, and we should have some steak ready to eat with some nice grill marks on it. Little garlic butter steak. I'll show you how I finish it off with a dollop of butter too. Tune back in. Alrighty, we are ready to finish the steak off with a little bit of butter. There we go. Also gonna throw the rest of this garlic butter on the corn, since we already have it. Now, after I get the butter on that steak, I'm gonna go ahead and probably give it no more than another minute, and she's ready to go. Tune back in when I'm eating. Alrighty, we have our finished garlic butter steak here, looking pretty good, if I don't say so myself. Now, this is the hard part. I'm gonna let this steak rest for probably about 5 minutes here before I cut into it. Let it cool down, and let the juices soak back into it so they don't all bleed out when I cut it for the first time. But yeah, I'm letting the corn go a little longer, getting a little bit more color on it, and once my steak's rested, I'm going to show you the finished product. Alrighty, got the corn pulled off of the grill, got the steak done and just about rested. I'm gonna finish off the corn with just a little bit more butter, or actually a lot more butter. Who am I kidding? A lot of butter. Put a lot of butter up over top of this corn. Alrighty. Get her smeared on. And then we're gonna do, one second here. Sorry, couldn't quite film that with one hand. Put a little bit of salt and pepper over the corn, a little bit of that more butter, and that's about all she wrote. This is probably my favorite summertime meal when the sweet corn's in season here in Iowa. And I'll be eating it up until nobody's selling the sweet corn anymore. It's pretty hot right now. I don't even know if I can take a bite of this. Not too bad. I'll cut the steak open for you here. Here's a little shot of the steak. Nice and juicy. Just how I like my steaks. I'll try to get a chunk off of here. Take a bite. See how it is. Alrighty, gonna try a bite of this steak here. Woo! That's tender. Wasn't the most expensive steak I've ever bought. But if you grill it like that, it's always going to turn out good. Nice and salty, a little bit of pepper, just a tiny bit of garlic taste on the end, and can't really ask for anything more out of a steak. The corn is delicious too. Wonderful, wonderful meal. I hope you enjoyed one of my first cooking episodes. Cooking with Staff, I think that's what I'm going to call it. But yeah, hopefully I'll do many more of these. If you like it, throw it down in the comment, and I'll definitely start churning out some more cooking videos soon. This one was a pretty easy recipe, just like my last one, but I have some other stuff I can do if anyone's interested. But yeah, that's it for me. Enjoy the steak and corn if you try cooking it, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.